All right, let's jump right into this explainer and look at a pretty critical executive brief from Geneforge AI Labs. If you're operating or even just scaling an enterprise data center right now, you definitely know the pressure. Demand for AI is absolutely through the roof, but so are the massive, often entirely hidden costs that are quietly choking your infrastructure. So today we're going to unpack a really fascinating solution designed to fix this exact bottleneck.
Structure, not size. Intelligence, not brute force. That's the executive motto from Geneforge, and honestly, it anchors everything we're going to explore today. It directly challenges this prevailing assumption in the industry. The idea that just throwing more compute power, more GPUs, and ever larger models at AI is the ultimate answer. But what if the secret to enterprise AI isn't about being bigger? What if it's about being fundamentally more disciplined?
Here's our quick roadmap for today. First, the hidden cost of AI. 2. Sovereign, structured AI inference. 3. Value proposition for data centers. 4. The technical snapshot. And finally, number 5, the 30-day pilot.
Okay, Section 1, the hidden cost of AI, unstructured AI limits. Let's start by looking at the core problem. The fundamentally unsustainable nature of unstructured AI inference is honestly like a ticking clock in your data center right now.
We are looking at 3 critical pain points that are severely impacting your automation ROI. First up, exploding energy costs. Second, hallucination overhead, which just destroys efficiency. And third, and this is a big one for your high-value clients, data sovereignty risks. Highly regulated clients in finance, government, and healthcare, they're simply refusing to use opaque cloud APIs where their sensitive data has to leave the building. It's a massive roadblock. Now, check out this staggering number. According to the brief, 40 to 60% of your compute cycles and GPU energy are completely wasted on unstructured chain-of-thought reasoning per complex query. That means nearly half of the energy you're paying for is essentially vanishing into the ether while the model just rambles to find an answer. In a data center drawing megawatts of power, that isn't just a minor inefficiency, right? It's a compounding financial bleed.
Looking directly at the Geneforge brief, you can see how that lack of structure creates a total domino effect. The hallucination overhead from generic models forces these incredibly costly human-in-the-loop reviews. Think about that for a second. If a human has to manually verify the AI's output because it can't be trusted, well, you've just completely negated the financial and operational benefits of deploying AI in the first place. You lose the speed and you literally multiply your labor costs.
Moving right along to Section 2, Sovereign Structured AI Inference, Deterministic Insights. We know the brute force method is failing us, so how exactly is Geneforge fixing this? They're proposing a total shift to highly structured, deterministic intelligence. So what actually is CICAAS? It stands for CIC as a Service. And to be clear, it's not a new foundational model. Rather, it's an on-premise API layer. Think of it as a refining layer that sits right on top of your existing local models, like Qwen 2.5 72B or Llama 3 70B. It takes those generic models and literally forces them to behave methodically, turning them into rigorous, deterministic, analytical engines that follow strict rules.
This brilliantly illustrates how they achieved that transformation using their proprietary Cervello and Comune, or CIC v2.1, heuristic protocol. When a query comes in, the system forces the local model to evaluate it against 26 distinct diagnostic criteria. It doesn't let the model just ramble on. Instead, it triggers an intelligent early stopping mechanism to cut off unnecessary computation the very second it reaches a valid conclusion. The final output, it's not a giant wall of text, it's a precise, highly structured 5-section analytical report generated using a fraction of the compute tokens. And that early stopping capability, that is exactly where your massive compute savings are realized.
All right, Section 3, Value Proposition for Data Centers, ROI and Efficiency. Now that we understand how they force structure onto the models, let's quantify the actual return on investment for your infrastructure and, of course, your bottom line.
Notice the stark contrast here. On one side, you have generic cloud APIs. They're unstructured, external, and frankly, highly risky for sensitive data. But on the flip side, the CICAAS approach gives you a 100% on-premise and air-gapped solution. You're transitioning to a fully localized, super secure stack running directly on your own NVIDIA DGX hardware. This guarantees absolute data sovereignty to your most regulated clients with zero data leakage. You're basically turning a massive compliance headache into a highly reliable selling feature. And the efficiency gains are absolutely massive. By eliminating that reasoning overhead and enforcing structured JSON outputs, your overall GPU load drops significantly. For a mid-sized cluster, Geneforge estimates an energy savings of 15 to 25 gigawatt-hours annually. To put that in perspective, that is a drastic, measurable improvement to your data center's power usage effectiveness and an undeniable boost to your operating margins.
But hey, this isn't just about saving money, right? It's about generating it. This level of deterministic control opens up a lucrative new revenue stream. Instead of just selling raw compute, you can create a certified sovereign AI analysis premium tier. So you move completely beyond commodity token pricing, and instead, you sell secure, auditable, hallucination-resistant insights, things like financial risk assessments and compliance auditing, directly to your enterprise clients.
To support those really high-level analytical tasks, the system is remarkably robust. CICAAS actually includes an out-of-the-box built-in Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG, integration. It comes preloaded with advanced frameworks like Minsky-Keen's Stockflow Consistent Economic Models, which enables incredibly deep, context-aware reasoning for complex domains. And the best part? It accomplishes all of this advanced reasoning locally without making a single external API call.
Section 4. The Technical Snapshot. Stack Architecture. For the CTOs and system architects tuning into this explainer, let's take a quick look under the hood to see exactly how this stack is built and deployed.
The architecture here is impressively clean and hyper-localized. Your inference engine runs on a local VLLM, heavily optimized for NVIDIA DGX. The backend utilizes asynchronous fast API with Redis caching, which means repeated queries bypass the heavy processing entirely, giving you lightning-fast latency. Your knowledge base relies on a local Qdrant vector database paired with BGM3 sentence transformers for secure RAG operations. And perhaps the biggest win for your DevOps team? The entire stack deploys via a single Docker compose command with absolutely zero external dependencies. I mean, it is practically plug and play.
Finally, Section 5, the 30-day pilot, zero-risk trial. Let's wrap up with the exact next steps. Geneforge AI Labs, led by founder and chief architect Marco Saba, is offering to prove out this model in the real world. They aren't just making claims here. They are actively selecting 3 strategic data center partners for a completely zero-risk 30-day pilot program. This includes a full deployment of the stack on a dedicated node directly in your own environment. They'll run a benchmark test pitting standard unstructured inference directly against their CICAAS structured inference across 10,000 complex queries. And at the end of the pilot, you get a detailed report quantifying your exact token savings, energy reduction, and latency improvements. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to consider regarding your own infrastructure operations. Take a hard look at your energy bills and your AI ROI. Are you still paying for AI brute force, or are you ready to transition to structured intelligence? Maybe it's time to schedule that 15-minute briefing with Geneforge and fundamentally rethink your data center's AI strategy. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.